Can a picture book be art? Yeah, why not? Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and I've got a fun one here. I was excited about this because if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I name drop Jeff Mack quite frequently. I'm a huge fan of Good News, Bad News, and Aha, and Duck in the Fridge, and Mine, and so many other works by Jeff Mack. And so when I saw that he'd written a new one, I had to put a hold on it and read it with my kids. And I'm so glad that I did. It is Time to Make Art by Jeff Mack. As the story starts, a young girl asks, "Time to make art? Okay, I have a question." And she starts asking questions of different artists about her art. Like whether her art has to be perfect. What if she can only draw stick figures? What colors should she use? Can something less fancy be art? What about stuff no one uses anymore? Are photos art? Because they just copy life. And asks questions like, how long will it take to make art? And so on. And eventually concludes that it's time to get started. So, just based on that, it was a fun book, and I quite enjoyed it, and it reminded me of Ish by Peter Reynolds, and I highly recommend you read that book if you haven't. It's fantastic, but it covers much the same ground. They would be a natural pairing for a story time or a 1-2 punch for bedtime related to art books. And the reason is that this asks questions about the proper way to do art. And the answer is basically, do it the way that you feel. Art can be what you want it to be. And that's a fantastic message for the would-be artists out there. I remember when I was in elementary school, I didn't like art class because I was told it had to be this, it had to be this, it had to be this. And it took years before I figured out that art was something I like doing when I have the chance to explore it and express myself and do it the way that I want. And this book has that message in a nice tidy package. Ish by Peter Reynolds does much the same thing, where Ramon gets frustrated because his drawings don't come out the way he wants, and he's teased by his older brother because his drawings don't look the way they're supposed to, and he gets so fed up and crumples things up and throws them away, and then his younger sister's been saving all the drawings. And when he complains and says, well, that was supposed to be a vase of flowers, but it doesn't look like it, she reassures him and says, well, it looks vase-ish. And after that, he's able to take joy in making ish paintings and ish drawings and even ish poems. It is a delightful book. It is probably Peter Reynolds' best book, in my opinion. And it matches so well with the theme of this one. Now, on that level, this book is already a success. But all the people the girl is talking to are famous artists. She talks to Van Gogh. She talks to Andy Warhol. She talks to Frida Kahlo. She talks to more recent artists who are doing different things. And at the back, there's a big couple pages where it highlights the artists and the years they were active and the type of work they did, and explains all of them to readers. And it goes back a ridiculously long ways to people who made the earliest stick figure paintings on cave walls. And the first page of the book, where she's talking to an artist, highlights Michelangelo painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. And later on, shows the Scream and the Mona Lisa and so many others. So above and beyond its success as a picture book, it's an incredible introduction to these famous artists that kids could be inspired by, and who they can take a look at these pictures and maybe be inspired to see the real version. This was a winner. Mack is brilliant. I think he's brilliant. His writing in this one is fairly sparse, but it's very effective, and his renditions of these classic paintings and other art forms are just absolutely incredible. They're easily identifiable by anyone who knows the original work. They're clever takes on what the artist looked like and how they would respond to things. And it was a joy to read. I highly, highly recommend this. Now, with that said, it wasn't quite perfect. I have to talk about a deal breaker. Now, here it is, and this is the world's smallest nitpick, but it did exist for me. For you and the listeners you're reading this to get the most out of it, someone around should have some art history knowledge. They should either pre-read the back section where it talks about these different artists and where they're from and when they did things and what exactly they did, or they should already have some of that knowledge. Because heading in without knowing that, when I read it to my kids, I found that I knew a few of the people. I knew Van Gogh, I knew Michelangelo, I knew Andy Warhol and Mondrian, but there were an awful lot I had no idea who they were. My wife took a year of art school in college, and she was much, much better equipped to appreciate the renditions of their art and to explain them to my younger daughter when they were reading the book together. So for anyone thinking about reading this in a story time, and again, I recommend pairing it with Ish. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Maybe do the pre-read. Read through who these people were in the back of the book first, so that if there are questions about it, if you need to explain to the kids, if they're asking, well, what is that? Why is that art? You'll have the background knowledge to explain it to them and have that brief conversation while the story is going. Still, even without that aspect, this is a winner. Go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer, and a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me talk in broad strokes about how much I enjoyed this book. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.